grand finale of drama. Drama. What is it? What is it? Marvel. You got DC. You got Star Wars. Got your Batman. Got your Wonder Woman. Got your Justice League. And then you have the Avengers. What separates the Avengers from the Justice League? From Star Wars? Community. Purpose. Right, Kiki? Kika. So, sense of hope, strength, and togetherness comes from the Avengers. And this wonderful great man, Stan Lee, crafted them since the 40s, since World War II, Captain America came out. So, 60 years. 60 years. He crafted these characters. And they got stories and stories and stories, and not just stories about the characters, but stories about stories, plot, battles, worlds, demons, enemies, obstacles, life-changing events. And the thing with Marvel is we're building off the backbone of that world that Stan Lee created. We're building off that world, and that's got to go somewhere. That's got to fucking go somewhere, because all these stories of the characters and the movies and the enemies and the villains they overcome, and the stories and the plot and the relationships and their identities happens from what was written down in paper, comic books. What I'm trying to say is we're not really developing anything new. We're running out. It's good. Most of it's good. It's getting down onto film, and we're bringing the comic books to life. We're bringing and expanding on them. We're expanding, bringing the comics books to life and expanding on them. And so, my only concern is after these Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which, by the way, comic book Secret Wars was in fact in the Spider-Man 1997 or 2001 or 1999, I believe. I don't know. Animated feature that I watched in Serbia. That's Secret Wars. And that's coming out 2027. So, Fantastic Four, Doomsday, Thanos was probably in the comics, Moon Knight, Loki, Kang was in the comic books. That was supposed to be the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Comic book again. Conqueror of all worlds, master of time, the multiverse. Comic books. So, we need a direction. And that's what I am trying to craft. So, my thoughts were like, I got them down on paper. For example, the X-Men, Hugh Jackman, best Wolverine. The only Wolverine, but the best one. Deadpool, we mixed Deadpool and Wolverine. All right. Guardians of the Galaxy, excellent. So I was thinking maybe since the mutant verse is pretty much done, it's pretty much fucking done. What else are you gonna do? You had the X-Men 1, 2, 3, you had the Logan, you had the X-Men Apocalypse, you had the X-Men First Class, you had the X-Men 97 TV show reboot. You did everything. You killed Magneto, you killed Charles Xavier, you killed Logan, you brought Deadpool his own film, 4 films for Deadpool. I don't know, fucking Storm died in X-Men 97, and Scarlet Witch had her own sagas, and Doctor Strange had his own 2 movies, and well, Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch are not X-Men, but the X-Men it's done. It's done. So the only way to bring it back now is to mix them with the Avengers. I don't know if they were already going to do that, but I basically here's one of the things I do. When you have a good idea, don't waste it. Good ideas are rare. Like you don't realize what you have until months and years goes by, and it's like, damn, that was a good fucking idea. So let some time sink in, and when you have a good idea, capitalize. Which means build everything around that idea. So my idea was Logan, who's like the last Avenger, and then a little bit of the mind of Charles Xavier and Magneto exist, right? Just those 3. Logan, Magneto, and Charles Xavier. And they got the X-Men world. Now, we had the multiverse, which was like parallel realities and into the Spider-Verse. So, which I use like a bridging movie, the final for the Spider-Verse, but nobody gives a fuck. So, okay, what can I do? The X-Men, Logan, and Charles and Magneto, the mind, they start mixing with Earth and the Avengers. So what I'm going to do is make you one big conglomerate. The multiverse and the canon events from the Spider-Verse. So we take the Spider-Verse, we take the canon, which allows you to transport between different worlds. We take the canon and the devices that let you transport between the multiverse, and that all comes crashing down with the canon breaking and the time ripper breaking, and the mutants from their dimension come to our Earth where the Avengers live, New York, and yeah. So the mutants come onto the Avengers world, and that's when Logan shows up, and Charles and Magneto shows up as the mind of the mutants, and whichever other left mutants who haven't died from that world, they start bringing them in from the multiverse, and that's a big thing, because then the multiverse erodes. So the multiverse, like the parallel worlds and the transporting between worlds and the alternate realities and the gods and the whatever, they all come crashing down into one singular Earth. And why is Earth so fragile? Now we got to protect the Earth. So there's like a sphere of Tony Stark's technology protecting the Earth from electromagnetic radiation, from the sun and climate change and the intergalactic wars that happen and the destruction on Earth and the environmentalism and the resources. So I tied that in with this one single event. The mutants come to our Earth because they've ran out of resources. They ran out of resources on their planets, and they come to Earth. And now there are some evil mutants that want to increase the solar magnetic radiation and damage Earth and be the devourer and the ruler of the Earth. And so Tony Stark's technology is combating this, and you have some good mutants, and there's battle for office, and then I added in the Skrulls from Captain Marvel, the shapeshifters. So they hold office, but they're shapeshifters, so they're actually mutants themselves, but they shapeshift and hold the office that way. So you got those people that are good and bad, and they're fighting for nuclear weapons. So they're fighting for nuclear weapons, and the mutants show up, and they're running for office. Some of them are trying to ruin Earth. Tony Stark is trying to protect Earth. Some mutants are fighting for office. You got the shapeshifters in office. You got the galactic uranium deposits, and you bring it all together. You can make multiple movies, whatever stories, okay? But all of this power happens in one consecutive plot. One consecutive plot. That's what I'm saying. Bring everything into once. As you're writing, you're gonna think, okay, I got an idea here. I got an idea here. I got an idea here. I got an idea. I got an idea. But then, when you finish everything, connect the dots. Just connect the dots and bring everything into one. So that was how the multiverse ends. The mutants come to Earth, the Skrulls, the shapeshifters, the uranium deposits, the electromagnetic radiation, and the ruling for power. That's one story. The other story I had it's called Fate of Races. Fate of Races. That's the next saga. We had the Infinity Saga, which was how the Avengers started. Then we had the Multiverse Saga, which was all these gods and parallel universes. And after that, we have the Secret Wars and Doomsday. So there's going to be an introduction of a new character, Doctor Doom, and the Fantastic Four, and the Thunderbolts. And then we got Secret Wars. I'm unsure what they're going to do with Secret Wars. Maybe it's the kid from the Fantastic Four, Franklin. And he's like the omniverse of mutants. So they got Secret Wars, Doomsday, and then Fate of Races. Fateful Races. Now, what am I doing with that? So Fate of Races, right? So I got the mutants mixing in with the Avengers and the multiverse coming to an end. I said that. Now for Fate of Races, the rest of the story is race boundaries. So I got it written down right here. You got India, the USA, America, Europe, China, Russia, Japan, technology, Brazil, Africa. You can do Middle East as well. Now, one of the things was I make different movies, different stories, right? So I got a movie on like the Middle East. I got a movie on Egypt. I got a movie. It's not superheroes, but I got a movie on Europe. I got a movie on China. I got a movie in Africa. I got a movie on ancient time, ancient Greece, ancient Rome. So I like me being multicultural. I got movies about that. So for me, it was like, what do I want to put into the Avengers? I don't need to prove anything because I already got these other films that are going to send that message. But I still want this Avengers to be a neat story. So how do I tie in these races with the heroes of the Avengers? The thing is, they need an obstacle. So the obstacle that I tied in, once again, it's got to be everything, connect the dots, everything into one big picture. The obstacle is the demons. So they are, the villain is not a mutant, a powerful enemy, literally a demon, like gods and angels, demon. So So it literally taking like Christianity. So and why is he a demon? Because the most powerful resource in the Avengers is vibranium. Vibranium. You got adamantium, which was used for the X-Men, and you got vibranium, and you got Tony Stark. So Tony Stark and Iron Man is dead. I'm not going to spoil that, but Iron Man is dead. But you got his technology. The thing was, he was big on defending the Earth with his technology, and a lot of the movies happened because his technology malfunctioned, and they're battling his technology. So once again, you can. Another thing I did was I didn't rewrite everything. I used what was already there and copied that, and just like so for example, you have this theme going on that Iron Man's technology is either saving the world or destroying the world. And so I just did that again. I just used that again. So now they want this Wakanda vibranium, which is secluded in Africa, in Wakanda. They want to take that, the USA, and use it for Tony Stark's technologies, for Iron Man's weapons, so they could boost the military and enhance it, just standard stuff. So they go into Africa and they start taking the vibranium. And what happens is, because it's not native to them, it summons a god, a monster, a devil, an evil one. And he's the most powerful. He's the most powerful. Well, it's always the most powerful until you invent something else, but this literally is the devil. This literally is the fucking devil. So he is a demon. And a demon that spawns from the most sacred resource on Earth and the most powerful. See how I'm connecting everything into one big picture? He's a demon that spawns from the harvesting of illegal foreigners and invaders of the most precious, powerful resource on Earth. And so, how does that work? He has his own minions that attack the Avengers and gain strength and feed him. So they one-on-one combat with all the superheroes and take that victories and power and harness it back to the evil one. How did I also capitalize on this? What I did, added to this, was it's looking into your soul. It's looking into your soul. So I said, what's a very powerful element in acting? So now we got the story. What about acting? Well, what's the most powerful thing I could think of in acting was an actor facing themselves. So, mirrors. So, reflections. So, all these spawning minions of the evil one go out through the tainted resource and multiply and whatever, and they combat the military, the soldiers, and the Avengers one-on-one by mirroring their actions. And it's like looking into their soul. So, fucking father. I don't know what he's doing in the kitchen. He can't cook. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Distractions. That's one of the things about me is, throughout all my fucking work, it's ironic. What's irony? Irony is something that's a twist. The irony is I get to live at home, and I don't have to deal with fame. I don't have to deal with the media. I don't have to deal with the press. I don't have to deal with bosses, with CEOs. And somehow I'm always fucking distracted. Somehow I'm always pissed off. I'm always fucking pissed off. These parents fucking piss me off on purpose. Fucking pissing me off on purpose. Whether it's leaving shit around the house, throwing food around the house, making noise, waddling around, leaving the bathroom open, like some shit. Some shit's always going down. So I'm secluded from the pain, but I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Sometimes they go to the cottage, they go on vacations, and then I'm alone. And then I'm happy. But I'm never fucking alone. Because there's always fucking distractions. And then when I am alone and I'm uploading onto YouTube and I'm uploading onto my websites and my documents, it's always hacked. So it's like I upload this and it turns into this, and there's a bug. Just bugs. So I'm always fucking distracted. Like I'm alone, but I'm not alone. And I'll be making a personal video, and then my father will just be walking outside the fucking door. No fucking reason, just like stumbling drunk. And it's like, I'm making a personal video. It's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Anyways, these soul, they look at your soul and they have one-on-one. So what I did was capitalize on that acting, reflections, holiness, the devil, powerful resource. So the most powerful sacred resource becomes abused. And it's global. So these demons are spawning all over the world. And now, obviously, we could iron out and pinpoint exactly the parts of the story. But how does it tie into reality? So that's all the fantastical stuff. In reality, it's races. So how is Earth going to mobilize together? You got the Avengers, and they want to combat, say, the demons in Russia. They want to combat the demons are going after uranium in Russia, but the Russians don't want Americans. So Russia has their own plan to protect itself and what they're going to do for the Earth. Then you got China, and China has its own Shang-Chi and martial arts and Kung Fu. So China has its own strategy to combat the uranium. And then the Avengers, where can they go? And where can they use their superpowers to attack? And you got like Europe and Africa and Brazil and India and Japan and it's like they all want to protect the Earth. And then you got the mutants. So you got the mutants now and the protecting Earth, and now you got these demons. And they want to come together. The Avengers want to help. And then you have the Avengers that have their flaws. So, not everyone trusts Hulk and Thor. And Loki, obviously not, because of what they've done in the past. So they got their flaws. So they got to work through now their flaws to gain the trust of different races so they can come together and combat this holy saint, this holy arachnid. And that's basically, I took themes of races, cultures, countries, flaws of the Avengers, mere acting, and look into the deepest soul, and like to win, they need to overcome their inner personality. So that's the way they defeat the demon. So it's like, their past and things they've done. Like they kill people. Like the Avengers kill people. They kill monsters, but in their destruction, that was one of the movies of the Avengers. Was, they caused so much destruction and chaos as collateral. So they gotta face the past and what they've done and like the damage they do to society in protecting the world. And is it the most civil way to go about? So I'm bringing the Avengers into more human aspect. It's bringing it into reality. It's bringing so you got the fantastical, the demons, the technology, the superheroes, the superpowers, the mutants, and you got the reality, the human aspect, human lives, cultures, races, personalities, the soul, the individual. So those are the themes that I'm bringing out. And the catalyst is this mirror demon and these mutants and these Avengers. So that's the fantastical. And then the reality is, the human side. And that's a very good blueprint for the future of storytelling. And I wrote out different parts of the plot. I wrote out different, so who attacks, who kills him, who does this, who does that, who does that. I wrote out like what each specific Avenger does, and I wrote out the world, the plot. So I wrote all that stuff, but you can just connect dots, and I don't know if they're gonna follow this. I don't know if they're gonna fucking follow this, but and then I got my themes. I got my themes here: friendship, solitude, identity, family, personal growth, sacrifice, leadership, revenge, betrayal, discrimination, hope, teamwork, mentoring and training, power and politics. I got all the themes written down there, and we tie that into specific movies. Those are smaller themes. The big theme is the looking into your soul and the races. That's the big theme. That's what it's called, Fate of Races. That's the big theme. And then you got these individual themes. And once again, using all the Avengers, using the mutants, using the Avengers, and using the Thunderbolts, using the Fantastic Four, using the Avengers still alive, the mutants, mixing them all with the Skrulls, the Captain Marvel, Captain America. That's what I crafted. And I got only 2 new superheroes, an Asian one and a black one. Asian one, both women. Asian, martial arts, kung fu, telepathic, and black. Once again, what's the most powerful superpower I can think of that hasn't been done? It's weakening yourself to help someone else. So you're powerful, and you weaken yourself, and you increase the power of a teammate. That's the black one, and the Asian one, telepath, martial arts, 10 rings. Adding to the culture that was already there for the previous Asian superhero. So, and then I got the mutants, and you can tie in stuff like Hulk wants this vibranium to help the mutants. So he wants to harness. So it's not only the military that wants this resource. The Avengers want it as well, so they can help these new mutants coming to Earth to control their powers and whatnot. So they want to unlock this biochemistry that exists within that resource to help the new Avengers. So that's how the Avengers also abuse the resource. And then I got some photos of the evil one, and basically I got like how you just some general acting, directing advice or whatever. Mainly it all comes down to, like I said, you got a good idea, piece together everything and build upon it. If you got a good idea, that's what lets you down in movies, when you got a good idea and it's like it's just put together like this. It's sloppy floppy. It's put together like this. No camera, no acting, no lights, no special effects, no costumes, no music, no quality actors, no big reveal in the story, no big twist, no anticipation, no build up, no character development, nothing. It just throws it out there. So when you got the best part of your story, build everything around it, and connect all the dots. And one of the things how you do that is you bring in the protagonists and the villains coming together at the same time. So if there's a big reveal, if there's a big story, he's about to face the final boss, right? So what didn't happen in Spider-Man, the third one, No Way Home? All the Spider-Man went to fight Sandman and the evil mutants, right? But the way you bring that in, that's the grand finale. So the whole movie, they're fighting this mutant, this mutant, this mutant, this mutant, this guy is from the different universes, okay? And the grand finale is they fight all of them at once, and it's all the three Peters. That's good. The three Peters come together to fight the mutants, but that's not enough. That's not enough. You got to bring in Mary Jane. You got to bring in his friend. You got to bring in Doctor Strange. You got to bring in the news
cameras, and some sort of political landscape is shifting, and the mayor comes, and the president, and the head of security comes, and they all come together to add to the story, to add to the theme, to the climax. So you bring everything together: the villains, the protagonists, their friends, their lovers, their relationships, their family, the news. You bring everything together, and then you reveal the moment, and that makes it so much more memorable. That's the main thing I have, is connecting everything. So, like I said, it's like you connect ideas and scenes that you're filming or stories that you're writing. Everybody comes together. Oh, and one of the things is don't start off slow. So, like when you do a movie or whatever, Thunderbolts did this good. Start off in an intense situation, start, and then go down. So start off intense, go down, and then go back up. Intense, go down, and then go back up. So don't start off, it's a sunny day. Now, unless that I would do that for Spider-Man, because everyone knows about Spider-Man. So if you start off action, it's like, not this again. He's always in some sort of bullshit. So in Spider-Man, you can do it slow because he's such a well-known fucking story. So Spider-Man, you start off slow, and then reveal what the movie's about. Other than that, you start off fast. Oh, another trick is, so always think of new stuff. New. My dad's still in the kitchen. It's been fucking half an hour, and he's still fucking. He doesn't know how to cook. What's he doing in the kitchen? It feels like they're spying on me. That's what it feels like. They're spying on me. They're fucking spying on me. That's what it feels like. No one likes to be. Imagine your parents spying on you. What the fuck? You're sitting in your room doing personal stuff, your hobby, writing, personal, and they're fucking spying on you. So, the last trick to it is, as you're writing, think of new things. So, when you think of something new, it's a little bit odd because it's complete. Everything is not fitting in. How is it gonna fit in the world? How is it gonna fit in with all the other characters? How does it fit in with the plot? How does it fit in with the purpose, with the story? So when you think of something new, it upsets everything, but it will work out. So coming up with new, because if you don't come up with new, you're boring. So throw something new out there. A new character, someone from their past, even though they were never in the book before. Someone just pops up from the past. Someone is something new. Someone pops up from the past, and it's like, oh, that's a new character, and then you develop it. So to stay fresh, just come up with some new stuff, And the trick that I was gonna add is a lot of great movies, they keep some element hidden until the very end. So it's like they're not gonna do this, but a very great idea I had for the last Spider-Verse movie was they capture his dad. They capture Miles. No, they capture Miles and his dad. So they capture his dad, right? Instead of they kill him or they save him or whatever, why don't they keep him captured all the way until the end? So they capture him, and now that's tension. Leave that tension throughout the entire movie. So that's how you take some purpose and leave it lingering through the entire film. So they're going on missions, they're going on discoveries, they're going on raids, they're going on attacks, they're going on plots, they're going on combat, they're mixing, they're planning, they're going on everything, their victory, their defeat, and you don't know what's going to happen to this one captured person, right? So, and then at the end we find out, at the end we reveal. So that's one bit of tension that stays throughout the entire film. Or book or movie. So one unresolved element, something small, something, so that's extra bit of tension, because why release it early? Then it's like you go like this, boop, boop, boop. But if you stay till the end, you're hooked. You're on the edge of your seat. Like this. One continuous element. And that's it. That's everything I did. I got one more document. I'm not gonna open it. It basically summarizes these techniques. And that's it. And then you add a rating. So like PG-13, teen, 14A, 18A, adult. So what's the audience and the rating of the work? What's the rating? How explicit is it? What themes are in there? So that you add at the end. And that's my idea for how we can tie in more themes, bring a fresh new story, bring a new villain, scripting techniques, and you just need the actors. When I act, I go on and I fucking show up and I do my shit. It's a fun time. But the actual crafting, the actual backstage, because I want to have a purpose, and I think I did great because I used the most powerful resource. I used all the cultures. I used the evil one. I used reciprocity, reflections, and looking into your soul. I used all the Avengers. I used the mutants mixing in, and they got fantastic writers. They could iron out all the subplots. But that's what I crafted, and I got all the individual Avengers. I got the resources and the themes, connecting it to reality, flaws, obstacles, big climatic scenes, and that was my work. Took years. Because, like I said, I wanted to build upon the world. I didn't just want to, okay, I'm going to make 10 new superheroes and I'm going to make stories about them. I wanted to build upon so we have some continuation of the universe. and I watched all the movies twice, 3 times. Every new movie that came out, I updated the story. But I got a concrete working plan that stands alone and can really be at least one chapter, at least one big chapter that will increase increase the lore and the aura, the power of Marvel. And then you got the acting, the actually building it, writing stories, spin-offs, movies, TV shows, costume sets, actors, So you got that, but for the ideas, at least it brings about some light. And if they don't use it, if they spin off, or the only reason I'll be disappointed if it's worse, because I got, I really put a lot of effort into it, and I think it's good. But even if they get ideas from it, like I said, the techniques and the themes and the supervillains, and that's a bonus too. That's a bonus too. So as long as we increase the universe. So watch this video, share it with a friend, leave a rating. We'll see you in the next one.